I get babies dropped off here, dropped off there. I'm sick of it.
But
it stops today, because that baby is not my son.
Just had a wild sex party that got shut down by the police station last week.
Hoes in this
That
house.
is not just...
You've been told for over 25 years that Otis Hawkins, the man you believe, was dead, but he's alive. And we found him for you.
I will be there for your children through I wasn't going to change that. I wasn't going to jeopardize my other children just for one.
And you kept that
sacrificed and
secret.
heard it over this.
Can you believe this circus? Ms. McBirth throws down the gauntlet, accusing Ms. Jackson of slinging mud on social media by calling her family deadbeats, which sparked a $1,000 defamation lawsuit. The courtroom's buzzing with tension now, setting us up for a roller coaster of a session. Just wait, the plot thickens.
You petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove your son, Kakitho Hughes, is not father of Miss Jackson's 2-year-old son, Elijah Jackson. Furthermore, you're suing Miss Jackson for $1,000 for defamation of character because you claim she posted comments on social media claiming you and your family are deadbeats.
Just when you thought it couldn't get spicier, Ms. McBirth doesn't hold back, slamming Ms. Jackson with labels like trash, trouble, trifler, and fervently denying the paternity of the child based on looks. Her fierce disdain sets the stage for some fiery exchanges. Buckle up, because the fireworks are just getting started.
So, Ms. McBirth, why do you believe your son's not the father?
This woman is trouble. She is trouble with a capital T. I call her the 3 T's. Trash, trouble, and trifling. That's what she is. The little boy looks nothing like my son, any member of my family.
Did that just escalate quickly, or what? In a bold move, Ms. McBirth presents a photo to the court claiming there's zero family resemblance to the child in question. She's standing her ground hard, making clear she sees no biological connection. Get ready, because the tension is about to soar even higher.
A photo of your son and the child in question,
Right.
and you say the child looks nothing like your son.
That baby white as snow. There's no way that could be my grandchild or my son's baby. He has no features like none of us. Nobody in my family look like that.
And just by looking at this child, you've determined and said to yourself,
He's
I do not believe that's my grandchild.
That can't happen. There's no way.
Hold on to your seats, folks. The courtroom turns into a verbal battleground as accusations of promiscuity and deceit are hurled at Ms. Jackson. Ms. McBirth and her camp are adamant. No way is that child related to them. They're painting a picture of Ms. Jackson that's anything but pretty. Strap in. The drama's about to dial up.
All she has done, she's been trying to put the baby on us.
Yeah, you have. Don't sit up and
She
act like you
forced
haven't.
it, but the thing about
She
her
trying to push that baby. That ain't mine. I didn't sleep with her.
When you say she's trying to push the baby on you, what do you mean?
She wants me to acknowledge that that child is my son. That's not gonna happen.
No, I think she's more so upset.
Tell me about the first time you met Elijah.
I seen him at the doctor's office where I was taking his real children to the doctor.
Whoa, did she just say that? In an emotional outburst, Ms. McBirth vents about being overwhelmed by numerous paternity claims linked to her son, reflecting her deep frustration with the whole messy situation. Her tirade really lays bare the toll it's taken. You think that was intense? Just wait for what's next.
I'm sick of all these little hookers trying to say my son is the daddy. I get babies dropped off here, dropped off there. I'm sick of it.
But
it stops today, because that baby is not my.
Because you just had a wild sex party that got shut down by the police station last. Yes, you
There's
did.
some hoes in this
That
house.
is not...
Yes, it is. It is true. Because why is your neighbors complaining about the sex?
Can you feel the heat in here? The court reviews a picture of Mr. Hughes kissing Elijah, sparking a heated debate about whether he could really be the father. Ms. McBirth is visibly shaken, almost disgusted by the implication. Keep your eyes peeled, because the climax is just around the corner.
When you look at this picture,
It make me want.
like your son is kissing the baby, it makes you want to
It
throw
makes me wanna
up.
put this a
Why?
lie.
For your son to be kissing an innocent child?
Because it's not his.
It doesn't matter, really. If he's showing the child, your brother is sleeping with her and not using protection. Couldn't he possibly be Elijah's father?
You know
No,
what?
not in this case.
Mama's babies, papa's maybe.
Talk about a game changer. The moment of truth hits like a freight train as the DNA results confirm.
In the case of McBirth, Terrell v. Jackson, pertaining to 2-year-old Elijah Jackson, and whether Mr. Hughes is the father, Mr. Hughes, you are Elijah's father.
Can you even handle this twist? Miss Moore reveals to Judge Lake that she kept a lifelong secret from her son, leading to their estrangement 2 months prior. The court has conducted a paternity test to determine the truth, the results of which are pending. This secret concerns the paternity of her son, which she had concealed for nearly 3 decades. You won't believe what comes next. It's a real doozy.
Your son has brought you to court today, but you've asked to have some time alone with me before he enters the courtroom, present his case against you. You haven't seen your son since a lifelong secret exposed just 2 months ago. The court has already issued a paternity test, and those results will be revealed today. What was the secret that you kept for almost 3 decades?
This next revelation is straight out of a soap opera. Mr. Weeks discusses his growing suspicion that the man who raised him might not be his biological father. He recounts hearing rumors from other family members during his childhood and his mother's consistent denial when confronted. This confrontation highlights the emotional and familial complexities surrounding the issue of paternity. The drama doesn't stop here, folks. The next clip is even more riveting.
It started around like I was 9 years old. I kept hearing rumors from outside family members. Maurice might not be my father, but I always get the same result. For a long time, I got the same result.
Your Honor, he never asked me.
I
would have
would
told him.
I came to her and asked her. She always told me, Maurice is your father.
Hold on to your seats. This is a big one. An emotional confrontation occurs when Mr. Weeks demands the truth from his mother about his paternity. Miss Moore shockingly admits her uncertainty about his father's identity. This admission sets the stage for a deeper exploration of family secrets and their impacts. You won't want to miss what happens next. It's a jaw-dropper.
I came through the door, then I just came after. The claim, you can't lie to me no more. I can't hear that Maurice Weeks is your father. I had to know the truth.
She
came to me and said,
know.
I don't know who is your father.
I did.
Just like that.
I did.
This part is a real tearjerker. Miss Moore expresses her sacrifices and the emotional pain she endured keeping the secret about Mr. Weeks' paternity. She justifies her actions by stressing the stability and love provided by Maurice, the man who raised Erla. This moment underscores the difficult choices she made to maintain familial harmony. But wait, there's more heartache on the way. Keep watching.
I will be there for your children through every. I wasn't going to change that. I wasn't going to jeopardize my other children just for one.
And you kept that
sacrificed and
secret.
heard it over there. Even though when Earl came to me and told me in the race, I heard it from my child. I never wanted my children to hurt.
Get ready for another bombshell. As the discussion about potential paternity continues, Miss Moore admits to having relations with another man shortly before conceiving Erla, increasing her doubts about Maurice being the father. This revelation adds complexity to her earlier decisions and highlights the challenges she faced in maintaining the secret. The tension escalates as the implications of this information begin to sink in for everyone involved. Strap in, because the emotional roller coaster continues.
Dating
There may be another man involved.
And how do you have this doubt? How these two men in a very
short time frame, like maybe 24 to 48 hours. Then it became more doubtful, and I noticed the difference.
So this has been a painful secret for you to just hold in your whole...
My whole life I had doubts, yes, because I noticed things with Earl that wasn't a part of my reach.
This confession is about to shake things up. In a heartfelt statement, Miss Moore explains the pressure of societal and familial expectations that influenced her decision to keep Erla's paternity secret. She expresses deep regret and a desire to have been more open, emphasizing her protective love for her children. This moment reveals the emotional burden of her decision and her longing for familial acceptance and love. Just when you thought it couldn't get more emotional, the next revelation will rock you.
I named Earl after my mother because I wanted her to love. If she thought I was a loosey in his children, then I would have loved Earl no matter what, and I would have did anything I could to protect him. Reese was there. He loved him. He took care of Earl to be in a rage right now. He needs to understand, and I wouldn't have hurted him for nothing. He was my special child.
This is where things start to turn around. Judge Lake encourages the family to move forward, recognizing the presence of deep emotions and love among them. She highlights the generational differences in handling such family matters, acknowledging the cultural context in which Miss Moore made her decisions. The judge's remarks aim to foster understanding and healing among the family members. You won't believe the heartfelt moment that's coming up. Get those tissues ready.
This court is about moving forward and how to do that. Attack against Miss Moore and your condemnation of her decision is based upon your love and watching the way but your family, and that's nasty. I didn't grow up in this era, but I remember the generation before me. If a young person got pregnant, they'd go off down south or somewhere for a year. I don't know if any of you remember that, and they just disappear.
Brace yourselves for this earth-shattering news. The paternity test results are revealed.
As it relates to Mr. Earl Weeks, man who has raised you for the past 29 years is not your biological father. Helper.
Let's set the scene. Ms. Casey steps up with a bombshell. Ms. Casey, you say that for more than 25 years, your mother has told you that a deceased man who is listed on your birth certificate is your biological father. Hold tight, because this mystery is about to get a whole lot thicker.
Miss Casey, you say that for more than 25 years, your mother has told you that a deceased man who is listed on your birth certificate is your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
As we wade deeper into the drama, another contender enters the ring. Now, another man, Mr. Edwards, is claiming he is your biological father. Stay tuned. The plot is about to thicken even further.
Now another man, Mr. Edwards, is claiming he is your biological father. You say you are sure Mr. Edwards is not your daughter's father. In fact, you say you are 100% 100% certain that a man named Otis Hawkins, who you claim was shot and killed, is in fact your daughter's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
The air is thick with tension, and Mr. Edwards throws his hat in the ring. And, Mr. Edwards, you claim that you and Ms. Ewing were still in a sexual relationship at the time her daughter was conceived, and hope to prove that you are indeed Ms. Casey's biological father. Brace yourselves, the emotional fireworks are just beginning.
You claim that you and Miss Ewing were still in a sexual relationship at the time her daughter was conceived, and hope to prove that you are indeed Miss Casey's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Casey takes the floor, and it's heart-wrenching. Actually, it's been hell, not knowing where I came from. Her story tugs at the heartstrings, paving the way for what's coming next.
Actually, it been hell, not knowing where I came from. I built a bond with Otis Hawkins, who's on my birth certificate, even though he's not ever been in my life. I do not know what the man looks like. I don't have a picture of him. I don't have anything about him, but...
Now it's Ms. Ewing's turn to spill the beans. Ms. Ewing, when you hear your daughter talk about how much it hurt to grow up, the room is thick with anticipation. What she says next might just flip the script.
Ms. Ewing, when you hear your daughter talk about how much it hurt to grow up without her father, how do you feel?
It hurts me to find out that's how she feels. If I would have knew that that's what she needed, I would have did my best to help her, but I did not know.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, Ms. Ewing drops a shocker. I called his cousin to see did she want to spend time with LaConda, and she informed me then that he had been shot in the head. The crowd is left stunned, but keep your eyes peeled, there's more drama ahead.
I called his cousin to see did she want to spend time with LaConda. Informed me then that he had been shot by his brother and he was deceased. LaConda was 7 years old. I didn't want to tell her until she got older. I didn't know how to tell her, and I'm telling you exactly what I was told.
Were you all in a committed relationship?
Yes, ma'am, we was until he came back from overseas.
Emotions run high as Mr. Edwards makes a heartfelt declaration. I was looking for them. His determination to mend broken bonds is moving. But hold on, the emotional roller coaster is about to hit another loop.
I am so sorry. I felt like this. We lost one. Losing this one. I'm not losing you.
Why are you so convinced that you're her father?
I don't even understand how I can tell. It's like the hair stands up on my back. She looks so much like my family. She's got everything that my mom had. I got 6 other daughters.
Ms. Casey isn't giving up. Her detective work is relentless. I got on a social network and I found Otis Hawkins, and he was in Natchez, Mississippi. Her pursuit of the truth is dogged, and just when you think you've seen it all, the next twist comes barreling down the track.
Eventually, when I got over the age of 18, me and my husband sat down and we did a research. I got on a social network. He was in Natchez, Mississippi. They did not disclose if he was, but they have gave me 2 addresses and 3 phone numbers. Contacted the 3 numbers that I had for him. They was all disconnected. So at that point, me being frustrated.
Just when you think you've got a handle on things, the judge throws a curveball, but he's alive. This bombshell revelation flips the entire case on its head, and guess what? The surprises aren't over yet.
You've been told for over 25 years that Otis Hawkins, the man you believe to be your father, was dead, but he's alive. And we found him for you.
Oh my
Mr. Hawkins,
God.
into the courtroom.
Dear LaConda.
You need to sit down. You okay?
Mr. Hawkins shares his heartfelt story, adding layers to this emotional saga. I stayed in California because she was just born. His recollection adds depth to the narrative, and the next piece of the puzzle is about to be placed.
It was pretty good at first. It just, after some years, when I was overseas when LaConda was born, when I got back, she was like about maybe 2 or 3 months. That was the only Christmas that I didn't go back to Mississippi to see my parents. I stayed in California because she was just born.
Hold on to your seats because the paternity results are in.
In the case of Casey versus Ewing, Edwards, Hawkins, pertaining to whether Mr. Edwards is the father of Ms. Casey. Mr. Edward, you are not her father.
You won't believe this twist. Judge Lake addresses Ms. Webster, who reveals shocking news that Myron Smith, who she thought was her father and even paid child support, might not be her biological father. This revelation sets the stage for the court's investigation, as Ms. Webster seeks to prove that Mr. Ware is indeed her father. Brace yourself, it gets wilder from here.
You recently learned shocking news that Myron Smith, the man you believe to be your dad and who paid child support for you, may not be your biological father. Now you've dragged the defendant, Mr. Ware, to paternity court to prove that he is your father and claim today's results will prove your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on to your popcorn. It's getting juicy. Ms. Webster discusses the origins of her doubts about her paternity. She was told by relatives at the beauty salon that she wasn't really part of their family, which led her to question her mother and Mr. Smith, the man she thought was her father. Her doubts deepened when she discovered she and Mr. Smith do not share the same blood type. But guess what? It ramps up even more next.
I worked in a beauty salon with some of his relatives. A relative say that that's not none of your father. I started questioning. I asked my mom, I talked to Mr. Smith, like, why are they a part of their family? family.
When you questioned Mr. Smith, what did he say?
You will always be my daughter. I believe in my heart that you are, and no matter what, you'll always be my daughter.
Can you handle more drama? Because here it comes. Years later, seeking answers, Ms. Webster visits Mr. Ware at his church. She describes a moment of prayer where she felt a significant, possibly divine connection to Mr. Ware, who was unknowingly standing right behind her. This moment intensifies her belief that Mr. Ware might be her father. The suspense is building, and you won't believe what happens next.
We went to visit him at his church. I knew who he was, but he didn't know who I was. I just been praying, that I find out who my father is. There's roadblocks and stumbles I've been going through. There's things and knowing who my father is one of them. And I came to the Lord. I went to the altar and I went up and I'm praying and I'm nervous, but I just felt this energy. And when they asked for the prayer warriors to come out.
The plot thickens yet again. Mr. Smith testifies about the timeline of Ms. Webster's conception, suggesting he couldn't be the father based on his military deployment. Despite paying child support, he expresses doubt about his paternity, complicating the narrative and adding to Ms. Webster's uncertainty. And just when you thought you'd heard it all, there's more intrigue to come.
As you know, we're here discussing the paternity as it relates to Miss Webster. You've been paying child support.
Yes, I have.
But you don't believe you're her biological father.
No, I don't. I can tell you why. Miss Webster was born September the 17th, which means that she had to be conceived either late December or January. I was in the United States Army, stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. She was born September the 17th. Last time I was home on leave was late November.
Buckle up. The emotional roller coaster is not over yet. The climax of the episode occurs when the paternity test results are revealed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Ware, you are not her father.